I want to talk a bit about AI script writing, the blueprint of creating viral AI UGC and ads. We've all seen those, AI talking heads, lip synced videos that they are pitching some sort of a product. Some go viral, most do not. Why? Because AI doesn't make a bad script good, my friends. It only scales what already works. But what actually works? Understanding the context of the platforms, the context of the audience, the context of attention, the context of storytelling, the emotional timing. So I want to talk about how we can make AI UGC or organic ads or branded story driven content that actually works, that's actually worth watching, sharing, and acting on. Now, when we talk about the structure of viral or whatever you want to call it, AI UGC script, we are really talking about the invisible architecture behind every piece of content that performs on social media, right? And usually, it always boils down to three things: attention, the slap. So you have 2 seconds literally have 2 seconds to stop scrolling. That's not a theory. This is the law of the social feeds. And the very first sentence must hit like a slap. And it could be either visual, which we will talk about in the next lesson, or verbal. So your hook, it's not necessarily a creative choice in this case. It's some sort of a survival mechanism. In order for you to be successful, in order for your UGC, for your ad, for your organic to be successful, and this is not only for AI content, but content in general, um, it needs to grab attention, right? For example, well, my husband shaved his head so my daughter wouldn't get bullied. This AI face made me $10,000 in 30 days. She looked 40 at 28. Here's what changed her skin. Now, there's a few types of effective hooks. So you have some sort of a anecdotal shock, you have some sort of a taboo, a confession, you have an unusual claim that you're making, um, you have visual surprises, and then you have relatable, and then you have a relatable pain, and then you have a relatable pain point that is very, and then you have a relatable pain point that's stated bluntly. Now, this is your attention. So this is your hook. This is your slap. The second part of your video, which is the meat or the mirror in this case, it's resonance. What do I mean by that? So if the hook slaps your audience awake and that they're watching, right? Um, Resonance is the emotional and psychological heartbeat, if you want to call it, of your video. This is where the viewer says, "Oh, actually, that's me. Oh, I can find myself in this video, or maybe I know someone like that." So now they feel connected to you, right? And this is where you tell the story. This is where you actually sell them, really. Um, and this is not where you're pitching them. I mean, you're kind of pitching them, but you're making sure that whatever your story that you're telling is very relatable. For example, um, you can say something. Well, I tried X that is known to help balance hormones and reduce bloating due to its high levels of um, acid and natural calming compounds. Now, what you did right now, if you kind of scripted your so what you did in this case is that you gave some sort of value, right? And this is very important because today's viewers will only keep watching if every second delivers something new, maybe a new idea, maybe a new twist, maybe a new emotion, maybe a new piece of information, which we just gave when we talked about how this X thing that you tried was helping balancing the hormones due to X and Y and Z. So now, if you have 30 seconds, you don't really have time for fillers. Every second must pay the viewer back for their time. So you should always ask yourself, did I earn another second of their time? Because if not, then you have to rewrite your script. Resonance is retention. Resonance is conversion. You're actually converting people here. You're not converting them when they click. you really are converting them when if they resonate with you. And then in the end, of course, we have the nudge or like the action where you add some sort of CTA. You have already converted them; they want to know something more, and here you have your CTA that should feel like a next obvious step. It should not just be a departure from the value. It should be great. I learned this. Now I want to learn even more, and I don't know, uh, take this action that's going to lead me to another thing, right? So your CTA should be the next step. So do you want a full recipe? Well, comment the word X, and I'll send it to you. DM me X, and I'll show you the exact method. Find the tool in the link in my bio, right? So you are making it easier to click than to scroll. It is not the final destination, your CTA. It is the next step that they're looking forward. These are the same layers that most of content creators or best content creators would apply in their context framework. Again, they have the attention, but now they need to think about the externalities of that. So they need to think about the rhythm of the platform, the Instagram Reels versus TikToks versus Shorts. What makes them different, and how should I adapt the attention or the hook so that it fits the narrative of these platforms? Number two would be the culture pulse. Is it something that's trending? Is there a sound that's trending? Is it a current event? Is it something happening? I don't know, in the pop culture that people are talking about? So that can be easy an attention gap, and then because of these, you're able to determine their scroll behavior. Then, as part of the resonance, which now is internal, you think about emotional triggers. You think about identity. You think about insecurity. You think about hope. You think about familiar characters like mom, coach, friend, expert. Usually, people tend to relate to that, right? This is what my mom told me. This is what my coach told me. This is what my friend told me. And then there's some sort of language pattern. So maybe you're using slang. Maybe you're using language that is used amongst the Gen Zs, Gen Alpha, or whatever it is, colloquial, insider terms, so that people feel connected. People resonate with whatever you're telling. You become not only predictable, but you become approachable, right? And when I say you, I mean the piece of content. And then in the end, of course, we have the action in this case would be tactical. So how easy it is the next step. Do they want to DM you? Do they want to, I don't know, click the link in bio? What is it? What is the reward? Is there any friction that exists? And if this friction exists, how can you make it so simple for them to just get to the next step, not to the very final line? I don't even know if you say that in English. So once you have your script, once you have your core structure, and once you have your context, then what we have to do over here is that we have to multiply what works. We don't have to necessarily invent it. We see what works. Now, let's multiply that and let's add some sparks into it. So, for example, we would go and scrape some top performing UGC in your niche. You can do that manually or you can do that through API. And then you can get all those videos and transcribe them using the script. And then you feed all the transcripts into ChatGPT. And you simply ask ChatGPT, what structure do these follow? What patterns emerge, right? What emotional hooks are used? What kind of CTAs? And after you do all of this, well, the next logical step is that you would build your own prompt library, you would create variations of your product and audience, or you can have some sort of a story twist so that you can see and you can A B test. And then now you're not just writing ads, but you're trying to train a system that would write effective context at scale. Again, it's about context. It's not about content. Um, and something that is very important when we talk about context and content is the selfless aspect or principle of this content. So, yes, audiences are smart. They know what's an ad, they know what's AI. So, what do they respond to actually? They respond to selfless value. So, if your entire video feels like a gift, like an insight, like a story, like a tutorial, like a secret, then they will give you their most valuable resource in return: their time, trust, their click, and also their lead, if that's what you're looking for, right? So this, my friend, allows you to connect, but also allows you to sell things without selling things. Because all you're focusing on is just delivering value, delivering value, delivering value. And here's a very simple script template that I use that you can also start playing around yourself to create great scripts in this case. So, for example, write a 30-40 second ad script targeting audience struggling with problems. Start with an emotional or shocking hook. Introduce a relatable character. Share three unconventional tips or insights, each with clear belief. Mention product only at the end as a subtle, logical solution. Use a selfless tone and with a soft CTA encouraging action, comment, DM, click. Of course, this is, again, a very short prompt. Um, but I would recommend you get started and try it out, and also at the same time start scraping some content from social media, from the ads that you like or organic content that you like, and ask ChatGPT to structure it for you following this same exact logic. I'm gonna add this PDF along with a guide on how to get started um, inside in the next lesson.